I would like to again request all attendees to kindly switch on your webcams. We'll be beginning in 60 seconds from now. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm P. Shravan Kumar, the founder of SK Associates and Group, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to Conference 2.4 on the topic Unleashing the Power of Narrative, how storytelling transforms customer engagement and drives business outcomes. We are thrilled to have multiple experienced industry experts, content managers, social media marketers, and digital marketers as guest speakers with us today. And we hope that by the end of this conference, you all will have gained some valuable insights into this critical area.
Hello everyone, I'm Manjali Singh, the Chief Strategic Alliance Advisor of SK Associates and Group, and I'm excited to be co-hosting today's conference with Shravan.
So, before we dive into the main topic of discussion for this conference, I would like to take a small moment to introduce SK Associates and Group. SKANG is an ISO certified, internationally accredited management consulting firm registered under the MSMED Act 2006 with the Government of India. Our mission is to provide consulting services to all student entrepreneurs globally in areas such as compliance and legal advisory, operations, marketing, research and development, human capital, product development, strategy, and obviously operations. We are passionate about helping these budding entrepreneurs establish their dream firms and empower global economic growth.
At SK Associates and Group, we take pride in providing customized solutions to our clients. Our team of transformational consultants has a passion for entrepreneurship, and they bring a wealth of experience and expertise to every project. They have worked on exciting projects, taken risks, and achieved success. Over the last 3 years, SKNG has built a network of 5,000 such individuals, reaching out to them across 30 plus countries from various universities, industries, and functional roles.
Our goal is to help 600 million students in India by offering pro bono consulting services in a variety of areas such as strategy, operations, human capital, compliance, legal advisory, R&D, taxation, and marketing. We also plan to invest 500 crores USD in the startups by 2035 and create 5,000 plus employment opportunities for startup experts, advisors, mentors, and research scholars. Our vision is to work towards global economic growth by empowering the next generation of entrepreneurs.
Collaboration and strategic alliances are key to achieving our mission. We're committed to promoting entrepreneurship development and community impact with a focus on empowering students for global economic growth. We aim to partner with 1,000 plus universities and colleges by 2030, providing guidance and mentorship to students to help them successfully build their startups. We have recently partnered with Bombay College of Pharmacy, Moti Babu Institute of Technology, BMS Institute of Technology and Management, and Sanskriti University.
The enthusiasm and interest we see among students towards entrepreneurship is truly inspiring. Startups have the power to address pressing social, economic, and geopolitical issues through innovative business models. By encouraging sustainable entrepreneurship, we can drive positive change and build a better future for all. Entrepreneurs not only create employment opportunities but also stimulate global economic growth, offer innovative solutions to consumer needs, and foster collaborations with other businesses. We have witnessed remarkable success stories where entrepreneurs have tackled challenges like climate change, waste management, education, and many more.
Absolutely. Entrepreneurship is a catalyst for change and innovation. It's a powerful force that can reshape industries, transform lives, and make a world a better place. We're committed to supporting student entrepreneurs on their journey, providing them with the necessary tools, knowledge, and networks to succeed.
At SK Associates and Group, we are grateful for the unwavering support and dedication of our executive management team, consisting of Ms. Anjali Singh, Mr. Digvijay Pawar, Ms. Vaishali Shri, Ms. Aditi Jain, and Advocate Riddhi Bhanushali, who have played a pivotal role in the growth and development of our organization. Their dedication and commitment have propelled us forward, enabling us to make a meaningful impact on the entrepreneurial ecosystem by inspiring, educating, and mentoring more and more youths to take up the baton of entrepreneurship instead of walking into a life of corporate slavery.
Tonight, we've gathered here to explore a fascinating topic that holds immense significance for the startup community. We'll explore how storytelling transforms customer engagement and drives business outcomes with a wonderful panelist.
Absolutely, Anjali. In this present digital era, startups must embrace the art of storytelling to stand out amidst the competition and capture the interest of their customer bases. Crafting compelling narratives lies at the heart of achieving this objective, as it empowers businesses to convey their principles, carve out the unique identity, and establish a connection with the desired audience. We are truly fortunate to have assembled a panel of esteemed experts who have a wealth of experience, insights, and advice that will provide us with a comprehensive understanding of strategies and best practices for harnessing the power of storytelling.
Indeed, our speakers today bring a wealth of knowledge and experience in the world of storytelling on how to increase customer engagement. They will adeptly harness the art of storytelling to transform customer engagement and drive remarkable business outcomes. Their wisdom is bound to empower all of us as we embark on our entrepreneurial endeavors.
So, before we commence our discussions for today, let's take a moment to introduce our esteemed lineup of guest speakers who are our panelists. Each of these individuals has made significant contributions within their field and possesses an in depth understanding of storytelling for businesses. Without any further delay, let's acquaint ourselves with our esteemed speakers and tap into the wealth of knowledge they bring to the table. So, our first speaker of the day is Mr. Arijit Bhattacharya, a visionary serial entrepreneur who has been reshaping the business world since 1998. A diverse portfolio ranging from game programming to virtual reality, AI evangelism to blockchain specialization, Mr. Arijit's journey has taken him across 90 plus countries, establishing an extensive global network. He is the founder of Virtual Infocom, India's pioneering game development and deep tech solutions company, and Co-Innovate Ventures, an accelerator program and fund dedicated to nurturing success. Arijit's relentless pursuit of innovation has led him to establish the World Leaders Summit, one of the largest international business clubs connecting over 95 countries. With a wealth of experience as a startup mentor and public speaker, his insights will undoubtedly invigorate our understanding of entrepreneurship.
Next speaker is Dr. Ansari Sarwar Alam. He holds a doctorate of philosophy from the Department of Commerce at Aligarh Muslim University, Masters of Business Administration and Human Resource Management from Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Marathwada University, followed by another MBA specialization in marketing management. His dedication to holistic learning is further underscored by his PG diploma in labor laws and labor relationships from the Faculty of Law at the University of Cambridge. He is also a true advocate for research and knowledge dissemination. Dr. Alam has supervised 48 MBA students in their master's dissertations, nurturing the intellectual growth of the future generation. His extensive research interest encompassed the fascinating realms of neuromarketing, digital marketing, sustainability marketing, consumer behavior, marketing strategies, anthropological marketing, societal marketing, and social marketing. Dr. Alam's scholarly contributions are nothing short of remarkable. His published papers in prestigious journals and his involvement in noteworthy conferences underscore his commitment to advancing knowledge. He has shared his insights on diverse platforms, including international webinars, workshops, and training sessions, solidifying his status as an esteemed resource person and a sought after speaker. Furthermore, Dr. Alam's dedication transcends research as he has assumed various organizational roles within academia. As a coordinator, editor, mentor, and patron, he has exhibited exemplary leadership and commitment to the growth of educational institutions. We're honored to have him here as a part of our panel, and we eagerly await his insights on the topic.
Our next distinguished speaker on the panel today is Ms. Zilingwal Athenjwala Zimela, a beacon of social activism and empowerment. Hailing from the Eastern Cape, Ms. Zimela is a seasoned PR and marketing specialist with a profound commitment to inclusive digital literacy and social justice. Her efforts to uplift marginalized communities and promote self improvement through business transformation and inspiring storytelling are truly commendable. Her philanthropic spirit and dedication to driving positive change serve as a testament to the transformational power of entrepreneurship. Her presence today is a reminder that change indeed starts with us, and her insights will undoubtedly inspire us to seek a meaningful impact.
Next up, we are also honored to have Advocate Ramit Advocate Amit Rande with us, an international trade lawyer with a remarkable track record in navigating complex international trade dynamics. With extensive experience in handling trade remedial investigations before esteemed international jurisdictions, Mr. Amit has contributed significantly to ensuring fair trade practices. His insights from working at the Directorate General of Trade Remedies and collaborating with global authorities shed light on the intricate world of international trade law.
So please join us in extending a warm welcome to all these distinguished guest speakers who bring valuable insights and expertise that will enrich our discussions throughout this conference. Also, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for the recording of today's session of Conference 2.4 and all previous conferences hosted by SK Associates. Now, before we begin this conference, we would like to request all of you to switch on your respective webcams. Would also like to inform you that our HR team will be conducting calls in this chat box throughout the conference and we encourage your active participation in them. Now, if please kindly ensure that you do switch on your webcams. I would like to make it clear in the beginning itself that participants without their webcams on shall not be certified at the end of the conference. So now we would like to invite our first guest speaker for the day, Mr. Arijit Bhattacharya, to commence his speech and share his valuable insights with us. Over to you, Mr. Arijit.
I believe he is not present with us today.
Okay, no issues. If you could have someone from your team connect with him once again, it would be a
Yes.
pleasure. Yeah. Now we would like to invite Dr. Ansari to commence his speech. I hope I'm audible, Dr. Ansari.
Good evening, yeah. You're pretty much audible, sir. Let me clarify two things. Am I audible, first of all? Okay. Uh, Please share me the rights for sharing my, presentation slide deck. And the second thing which I want to confirm from your end, it's like that I am having 15 minutes, right? Okay, sir. No, it's creating problem. Whether the slide deck is pretty much
Yeah, it is
visible to
visible,
you?
Dr. Ansari.
Okay.
It's clearly visible.
So first of all, I want to thanks to the CEO of SK Associate and Group and to Miss Anjali Singh, who has given me this opportunity that I should come up with my own understanding and with the experience or knowledge regards to business storytelling. When this topic is given to me or I came across with this topic, so let me tell you that it has created itself an interest towards me because being a marketer professor, I'm into consumer behavior part, psychological aspect of consumer, and many of the things which we deal with are related to human beings. Now, let me tell you about what is meant by business storytelling. So first of all, if you are getting any piece of article on the newspaper which is coming up with an advertisement, so it will be advertisement but not the storytelling. But when you get repeatedly a piece of advertisement with link with the previous one and then previous one, and maybe in the future you are getting the link of that advertisement again in the future, again and again, it will come under the category of storytelling. And yes, we called is business storytelling because it talks about a product, it talks about a service. The recent example or the best example which give a sense of storytelling is Amul's Girl. Amul is a very famous company in India, and it's always come up with its girl that is animated version or a representative of Amul. Okay, it shows the image of Amul through a girl. You know, Italy, Italy, the delicious Amul, and many of the things which will come in this way. Let's talk about Amul. Now, with this example and a clarification between advertisement and business storytelling, I want to move further. No doubt that business storytelling come under the category of advertisement only. But the clarification is needed. What is meant by advertisement and what is meant by storytelling. That's why I have given you an example of it. Let me move with the further slides to present you what are the essential or important of business storytelling in the present scenario. So the presentation of mine will be talk about the 8 points which are mentioned over there. First one, capturing attention. Second, building brand identity. Third, creating emotional connection. Fourth, enhancing customer engagement. Fifth, communicating values and purpose. Simplifying complex concept, inspiring action, and differentiating from competitors. Now, the first and foremost important concept, which we can understand, or we can understand through this slide, is that capturing attention. So, in a very short and crisp way, I can say, or I can define it. In today's fast-paced world, capturing and retaining people attention is a challenge. Obviously, if you look after the market, there are many competitors. They are ready to capture the other competitors' marketing strategy. They are ready to capture or target the competitors' target audience, right? So storytelling helps business cut through the noise and engage their target audience effectively. A well-crafted story can captivate and connect with individual on an emotional level, making them more likely to remember and resonate with the brand. I hope that you must be knowing about this ad of Cadbury's Dairy Milk, that is drumming gorilla. If you have gone through this ad, which has captivated or catch attention of many of the consumer, it's an important aspect of storytelling, whereby the drumming gorilla does not speak about Cadbury, neither the drumming gorilla has eaten any Cadbury chocolate, but it has captivated, attracted the mindset of consumer, which really portrayed about the Cadbury chocolate concept, because at in the initial part of this advertisement, Cadbury company has given its punchline. Later on, it has come up at the ending point. At the ending point of this advertisement, Cadbury has again come up with punchline. So here you can understand that capturing attention is the first and foremost important part of storytelling. And yes, whenever a product is coming again and again with different advertisement, with different advertisement and with different aspect, so it's count under the category of storytelling. So now let me give you another example, which is very captivating example, which had been observed by many of us. So the second example, which talks about the first essential part of storytelling or the important part of storytelling, is this. You must have gone through the series of Old Spice, you know, advertisement again and again. If you look after this, so this man has been seen on the beach, on the desert, and he had been seen in the bathtub, in the bathroom. Again and again, this advertisement had
Sorry to
come.
interrupt, Mr. Ansari. I think the slides are not moving. Yes,
Okay, ma'am.
that's fine.
Is
Yeah,
it
now it's fine.
fine now?
Yes.
Okay. So I missed this. I think you have not got this drumming gorilla
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So already explanation has been given. I don't want to repeat it again. But yes, drumming gorilla is an advertisement which is an example of storytelling or which shows the importance of storytelling, and the essential point is capturing attention. Now moving towards the uh, second example, it is Old Spice. We have seen this man again and again coming up with different aspect. Sometimes through the advertisement, we have seen him on beach, on a desert, on a bath, in a bathroom, on a bathtub, in a different way. He had come up. Okay, so this advertisement it's come under the category which catch the attention of the audience or the consumer. As I told you that he has come up in a different way, or the company of Old Spice had shown him up in a different way. This advertisement shows us about the perfect example of storytelling, and our storytelling should be captivating and should have that power of capturing the attention. Now, moving to the another aspect of storytelling, that is building brand identity. Yes, when we talk about storytelling, so it's not about catching the mind or capturing the attention of the audience, but at the same time, the company should come up with its brand identity. Now, storytelling enables business to shape their brand identity and differentiate themselves from competitors by sharing their unique narrative, values, and mission. Companies can create a distinct personality that attracts customers who align with their stories. A compelling brand story builds trust and loyalty and foster long-term relationship with customer. I hope you are getting the picture, and you must be reading the statement over that is just do it, and it is a very famous punchline of Nike. Let me go with the another example of Nike, whereby you can see that how this company is coming in a way and capturing the mindset and building its identity. So the example of Nike can be seen through the next slide. Just do it, right? So let me read it and show you that how Nike is building its identity by storytelling. So starting in 1988, the Nike Just Do It commercial feature professional and amateurs athletes explaining their accomplishment and their emotions they feel when exercising. An 80-year-old marathoner called Walt Stack was featured in one of the campaign's first television sports, telling how he runs 17 miles every morning. Stories like Walt's move viewers, making them question if these athletes can accomplish it, why can't I? So here you can understand that companies can build up their can come up with their identity, brand identity through storytelling as Nike is building. Let me move to the third important aspect, which is essential component of storytelling is creating emotional connection. For me, this is very important aspect. Why? Because if the story is not connecting with the emotion of the consumer, so it will not achieve the objective of storytelling itself or business storytelling itself. Creating emotion connection, either it could be through any emotion, happy, fear, sadness, grief, or something like that. It's essential part, is a pivotal role of the story business storytelling process. So here, if you look after the basic understanding of creating emotional connection, so you can understand that human beings are wired to respond to stories. Yes. By incorporating storytelling into their business strategy, companies can evoke emotions and create meaningful connection with their audience. Emotionally engaged customers are more likely to become brand advocate, share their experience, and generate positive word of mouth contributing to the business. Believe me, when I was going through this unsung hero advertisement of Thai life insurance, I myself feel very sad. I myself feel that this story it's a real and it touches to my heart in many ways. I hope that you must have seen this, you must have watched this advertisement where a person, a common man like you and me, had gone through the different aspect of life and he touches to the different emotions. If you look after that common man, he is having a very good relationship with the dog over there. Then he is supported to the needy person, the old age person, and a woman who is running the business. So you can understand that this Thai life insurance advertisement, the how this story has been created, so you can easily so you can easily understand my view that why emotional connection is very important or pivotal thing when we come up with business storytelling. Now, moving towards the another example of emotional connect. This is the example of a woman who had gone through cancer. And yeah, due to cancer, she had come up with, a baldness. So this advertisement or this particular story talks about a woman who had just passed through the cancer thing and she has to face the world. So obviously, if we don't have, if we don't have had we feel, somewhat not confident to do the work. We feel that people will come up with different, words. They will say us bad or something like that. But this story of a woman who has surpassed that cancer thing, come up into the practical life. She joined her company and she got a positive response by her colleagues. And this shows about the emotion that when somebody is going through some pain, it is us or the people who is around him or her should take the things positively and support her. This story talks about that to stand or up again after a disease like cancer, it's not easy. So some people do not need hair to look beautiful. This advertisement give us a sense, or this story has given us a sense that some people do not need hairs to look beautiful, and it is changing the mindset, it is changing the stereotype. Now let me go up with the fourth point, that is important aspect again of storytelling, that is enhancing customer engagement. So stories have the power to engage customers and hold their attention for longer period. Yes. Then, by integrating storytelling into marketing campaign, business can make their messages more memorable and impactful. Story-driven content such as videos, articles, or social media campaigns can spark conversation, generate higher level of engagement, and increase brand visibility. When I was going through the research thing, as well as the percentage that how much advertisement is affecting or increasing the customer engagement, I didn't get the exact figure or percentage. But I got few papers and I thought that I should put up the papers to enhance the value and to cover my point, this that is enhancing customer engagement. So I have gone through a paper which is named as the effect of advertisement on customer engagement, a study of ad oro naming C in Generation Z. This paper talks about that the Generation Z, when they get any of the advertisement through social media, they are most likely to engage in that advertisement instead of going through the same advertisement through the television. And there were n numbers of paper which talk the same thing. Now, let me give you an example. You must have gone through Dove. It's a famous product. You must be knowing it. Dove has come up with a different campaign and it has shown the definition of beautiful or what is meant by beautiful in different aspects. Dove has come up with three different women who were not fair in color, who were not having good hairs, and who were not having a good, physics or body. Dove said that beauty is not be judged on the basis of the physical thing. It should be judged on the basis of the character and many more aspects. And yes, it is rightly said by that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Let me move to the further part. The fifth point, that is communicating values and purpose. Yes, storytelling should have values and purpose. Storytelling is an effective tool for communicating a company's values, purpose, and social impact. Customers are increasingly interested in supporting business that align with their own values. Sharing stories about corporate social responsibility initiative, sustainability efforts, or community involvement helps business connect with socially conscious consumers and attract like-minded individuals. So for the corporates, it's very essential that they should come up with the values and purpose. In Indian context, the example which I can give from my end, it's about Dabur. It's about many of the product which has governed by the corporates, and they are giving a percentage, and they are giving a percentage amount of their product to the needful or to the society or to the poor person. This talk about their advertisement, talk about the values and the purpose of their product too. Now, if you are now you can get another example which is on the screen in front of you, which has given by the government of India. It's talk about the advertisement in a serial order or in a series way, which is related to Jago Grahak Jago, launch consumer complaint, consumer protection. It talks about that. And then you can see in the second picture that consumer, it may be missed, never, do not be misled, never pay more than the MRP. Then this too shows about the values, this two advertisement shows about the values, and the another two advertisement talks about the purpose, whereby the brand ambassador, that is Amitabh Bachchan, a famous actor in India, he talks about polio and he come up with the punchline, Do bun har bar. Okay? Or prior to it, it was Do bun har bar, do bun zaruri. So you can understand when we are coming up with a story, it should link with values and purpose. It should be not like that without value you should come up, or your story should not, shows any purpose. So now with this point, let me move to the another point, that is point number 6, which is the important aspect of storytelling, that is simplifying complex concept. So storytelling is an excellent way to simplify complex concept or technical information. By presenting information in a narrative format, business can break down complex ideas into relatable and understandable stories. This simplification enables business to connect with a broader audience and educate them about their product or services more effectively. Example being Google Shopping, a restaurant. Who does not know how to use Google can use Google to compare the product. I don't know why, after going through 2 hours to search that advertisement, I didn't get it. But why I'm putting up this thing in front of you, that advertisement make the things simplifying, they simplify they simplify the complex concept. When Google has come up with the stories in a way that a old lady was there and she was unable to order the thing, she was not unable to buy a thing. So what happened? Or she was not unable to compare the thing. So a young girl, maybe she was the nephew or niece of that old lady, she shown her that how Google work. So in this way, the complex concept was well addressed by the story of the Google through the advertisement. Okay, I have I am putting up this thing in front of you so that you can relate it. If you have gone through that advertisement, you can easily relate it or connect with that advertisement. That how storytelling, simplify the complex concept. The third example, which I have given on the screen, is third example, which is on the screen, is regard to Amazon Alexa. Amazon Alexa, it's easy to use, but how the advertisement has shown the different aspect, that how we can use Amazon Alexa can be easily shown through its story way, which has shown through the advertisement. So this is the example of Amazon Alexa lullaby. Okay, now let me move towards the next point, that is inspiring action. So stories have the power to inspire and motivate people to take
Excuse
action.
me, Dr. Alam, if you could just wrap up in 2 minutes, we could have a Q&A session round two. Sure.
Okay, sir. Okay, I will do it. So the seventh point is inspiring action. So story has the power to inspire and motivate people to take action. Now you can see easily through the story which has come with regards to her, and this Traya is a very uh, dynamic company who had attract this thing, and they are inspiring millions of consumers through its advertisement by coming up with the name, like the by coming up with the famous celebrities like Rajkumar and Sunil, and the common people like you and me. Let me move towards the third last point of which regards to importance of storytelling. It is differentiation products. So now you can see through the pictures on the screen, that how you can differentiate, or a company can differentiate with its competitor by coming up with the stories. So if you look after the sandwich, there's an arts. In this way, the storytelling can easily differentiate your product from the competitor product. With this thing, I want to wind up my presentation. Once again, I want to thank you all for giving me this opportunity and listening me patiently. Thank you.
Firstly, that was an amazing speech, Dr. Ansari. Though I had a small question here, since you have elaborated on various examples of advertising working out as major storytelling techniques. Just elaborate key what is the basic difference between storytelling and influential speaking, or if one of them is broader or narrower than the other.
Uh, can you come again with the question, please?
So, pardon. My question was, what is the basic difference between storytelling and influential speaking?
Okay. See, if suppose we look after the storytelling process, it is more like you are supposed to captivate someone's mind and attract the consumer. When we talk about the basic understanding of influencing thing, so in influencing, it is also shows about how to captivate people based on personal attributes. For example, if we look after social media influencer, so they are coming up with different story things of their life or experiences and sharing that thing to influence their followers. When we talk about storytelling, so it can be used, but the targeted audience will be very broader, and it will stand on the basis of the company.
I get it. So, anyone, any questions out here? You may kindly unmute yourself and put your questions to Dr. Ansari. Yeah. Questions out here? Okay. No questions? Am I audible, Anjali?
Yes, you're audible.
Any questions anyone has? If you're shy enough or introvertistic, you can just drop your question in the chat box too. Even that's convenient for us. Sandeep, Binoy, no questions? Okay, fine then. I guess we have no questions for your presentation, Dr. Ansari. It was quite clear and precise, to the point. Thank you for your presentation. It was an amazing one, actually.
So thank you. Thank you so
Anjali?
much again.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Ansari, for the wonderful speech and sharing your knowledge with us. Please share your email address in the chat box, and if anyone in our audience would like to would have has any questions or needs further information, please reach out to him on the email address he'll be sharing. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Zamila to
Thank
commence her
you.
speech.
Thank you so much, Anjari. I am joining this presentation or this session from South Africa, so it is the afternoon on my side, so good afternoon, or perhaps it's good evening to all of you. Thank you so much, Dr. Asa. That was a very compelling speech, and I think we've learned a lot from that. So let me try and share my screen with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm not. Can you see my presentation?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, fantastic. So once again, thank you so much for the invitation. And I particularly joined this session because my company, Attenjo Media, focuses on compelling storytelling. And we do this for local brands in South Africa and some international brands that we have worked with to make sure that they are noticeable when they go onto social media or when they construct their corporate identity. So stories are very important. Every one of us has a story to tell. We come from a different part of the world. We have had different frames of reference of how we make sense of the world. So it is important for us to tell these stories, especially as business people. If we hope to make money or to drive new products onto the market, we need to be in a position to tell a compelling and impactful story. So maybe you may be asking yourself, how do you tell a memorable brand story? In my opinion, I find that if you are a business, you need to be authentic. This means that you need to be original. You need to tell an original story. Number two, you need to be personable. By personable, I mean when you're speaking to clients or prospective clients, you need to be in a position to speak to them as though they are human beings, as opposed to speaking to them as if they are robots or as though they are things. Number three, a compelling brand that hopes to drive a lot of influence in the market. You need to be in a position to tell the truth about your brand, about the product or service that you're offering. You need to be a person who is trustworthy. And number four, you need to be relatable. Your story should not be far removed from the daily lived realities of human beings. They must be able to relate to your product. They must be able to relate to your pay strategy. Number five, when you are telling a memorable brand story, you need to be able to solve for a current need. And if you're not able to solve for a current need, you need to be in a position to create a new desire. And if you're able to achieve the six things mentioned above, you also need to be able to offer aspirational benefits. For instance, if I'm watching an advertisement about SMAG appliances, for instance, the average person does not use SMAG. They use other cheaper appliances. However, with your brand message and your brand story, I must be in a position to aspire to have SMAG. Number three, if you hope to tell a compelling story that will drive business objectives, you must be in a position to give hope and make an impact. What is true is that customers already know what they want, and they appreciate it when their lived experiences are reflected in the narrative of the brand. You cannot tell a story about people yet you eliminate people from the actual story. You must make a real difference. You must tell your customers a story in a way that makes them feel seen, that makes them feel heard, that makes them feel identified. And you will not be able to achieve any of these objectives if you don't conduct research about your target market. Because if you conduct proper research about your target market, you'll be able to understand the market and the climate you operate in. For instance, the African market has different kinds of buyers and sensitivities. There's the huge advent of culture, of tradition. There's a huge advent of technological advancement, and where we are in the African continent, there's the huge advent also of buying power. So if you hope to do any kind of business in the African market, you need to understand the story of the African continent and its different regions, so that you can understand the deeply seated desires of your different buyers in the market. And also, in order for you to stand out and make your presence felt, you need to understand the real driving force and stories of the people you are hoping to target. And the rule of thumb is that you need to conduct research. You cannot conduct enough research. At every turn, you need to be knowing more about your customer. For instance, the buying climate in South Africa, for instance, where I live, since the pandemic, it has changed. The attitudes and norms of people and the sense of urgency of people has changed. The products that they're buying from the markets has also changed, and their buying decisions have also been influenced by the pandemic. So as a person, as a business person who hopes to have any kind of influence in the African market, you need to be able to understand those concepts. So after you've conducted your research, robust research at that, this will help you gather evidence. And this evidence that you'll gather from all of these stories, from all of these aspects in the African continent, you'll be able to document your findings, which will assist you in the scripts of the future or in the present times. And after you've gathered this evidence, you will be in a position to report for consequence. By that, I mean, when you collect either qualitative or quantitative data, this data must inform the kind of products that you push out into the market. This qualitative and quantitative data must also inform your communication strategy. It must also speak to your ROIs and the budget that you have set. And once you have done all of these things, you'll be able now to build on past experience, because you've gathered enough evidence, you have done your research, so you are very informed as a business owner to push out products into the market. And as Dr. Asa had mentioned earlier, you need to tell stories that make an emotional connection with your customer. So this also helps you to build on your experience. And once you have all of these factors, you will then be guided by the stream of knowledge, because you have information that you can pull from and say, as a matter of fact, I understand my audience, I understand my customer, and I understand my different advertising techniques. And once all of these things have been done, you need to be in a position to measure satisfaction factors. What makes you stand out? What makes you memorable? What do your customers or your clients identify with? Do they look at the quality of the products or the service? Or do they look at the experience that they derived from interacting with you as a business owner? Or is it the cost factor? So all of these factors, you cannot leave any of them out. It is important for you to understand them. And also, if you're looking at the African market, you have some communities that are digitally illiterate, and the pandemic has taught us that we need to be in a digital and fast-paced world. So how do you bring in those customers from the periphery into the grand scheme of things? Also, looking at the economic factors that are in the African continent, have you looked at the pricing structure of your different products? Will you be able to derive a profit? If you are manufacturing goods, what sort of materials are you going to be using? Can these materials be easily found in the African continent, or would you need to import or export them? So all of those factors are very important, and they weave into how you tell an influential and a memorable brand story. I didn't want to take up a lot of your time, so I think I'm going to be ending it there. Thank you so much.
So firstly, that was a very to-the-point presentation, Zamela. Very precise, and I appreciate it. Further, I had some questions. Since you are an expert into public relations especially, these are for you. So as we have seen that ads are actually influencing the community a lot. So do you think that most of the ads which are made with the objective of telling a story or communicating a successful story of the product's usage to the consumers are made somewhat to keep in mind that community impact is also displayed via the ads, or are they made from a profit-making motive rather?
Oh, thank you so much. That is such an important question. In the African continent, most of the adverts that I've seen, especially working in this space, they are very personable. if you want to stand out in television in Africa, you need to tell the story. There must be something memorable that I remember from your product. For instance, in South Africa, we have 11 official languages. So language also plays a vital role in how we tell stories. And we've been fortunate enough that, I can watch television and I can see all of these 11 languages represented, so that when I go to the shop, I make an informed decision. I hope that answers you.
Obviously. Now I'd like to invite all the attendees to put forth their questions, if any. Anyone? Even fellow guest speakers who could put forth their questions. Any questions out there?
May I come up with a question, please? Okay, it was nice presentation and valuable inputs you have given, Ms. Zamila. My question
Thank
is
you.
right. Can you give us some example of quantitative research regards to storytelling?
Quantitative research regarding?
Regards to storytelling.
Well, I think qualitative research would be at a business level. For instance, I work for a corporate, and the corporate that I work for, it is a broadband type of corporate. I can't really say the name. For us, we do a lot of monitoring, evaluation, and learning. So through that monitoring and evaluation and learning, we gather a lot of qualitative and quantitative data. The company itself has been in existence for about 30 years in South Africa. So from inception up until now, it has had to evolve. And I remember we used, when it started, there was a brand identity that we had because we're using an individual to translate our message. Now that gentleman, sadly, a few years ago passed away. So we had to be in a position to sit down and look at our research that we've been gathering throughout the years and say, all right, let's take out the human, right? The human being from delivering the message, but let's rather use the experience of different consumers in South Africa, so that when we face the untimely activity of losing this brand identity, we're still able to tell our compelling story.
Okay, thanks for the answer.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Amila, for the wonderful speech and sharing insights with us. Please share your email address in the chat box, and if any of our attendees would like to connect with her, please do reach out to her with the email address. Now, I'd like to invite Mr. Arijit Bhattacharya to commence his speech.
Thank you so much for the call, and definitely thank you so much for inviting me. Well, I guess that today's discussion, first of all, I'm late. Apologize for the same because it didn't came into my notification. Neither I get any kind of call from anyone. So I didn't know that what time is exactly the speech is happening. Anyway, so I guess today's conference is all about storytelling and talking about brand building, as well as how you can tell stories in terms of business, as well as how you can connect people. Before I hop into my speech, I would love to share my screen, if that is okay for everybody. Yeah, just give me a thumb or signal if it is fine. Super. So I'm more of like a LinkedIn guy rather than a Facebook and Instagram active person. The reason I'm more of active LinkedIn person because it is more connecting the business as well as the corporate. Now, when I talk about the corporate, when I talk about CEOs, CXOs, CIOs, as well as the founders, investors, and VCs, this is my main connection, along with few bit of ministers and celebrities and actors, which is there in my book. That is not only in social media, but in person touch. Let me give you a little bit of understanding about who I am, and then probably I can talk about why I'm sharing my screen and why I'm talking about storytelling. So my own personal story started back in 1998 when I started India's one of the first game development company. I was 17 then, and I understood from that age that if I really need to bring some disruption in our country, want to give work, want to give employment, want to bring change, then definitely I have to start my own company. So with a very small amount of money, which is less than $1 for international people, and for India it is $49, which was my bootstrap capital. Yeah. And what I was doing, I started India's first game development company, and then eventually that evolved into creating digital characters on superhero based on Sanskrit, our epic, our Puranas, our history, and then started telling the science behind the epic to the world, which eventually occurred in a position that we released India's first game based upon Indian character, mainly from Mahabharata, called Ashwatthama the Immortal. We wanted to tell the world that we are rich with culture, we are rich with science, and of course, Zero was invented in Bharatvarsh, which eventually grew Bharatvarsh in a complete different kind of structure. And that's how the storytelling started in our own organization. And when I started talking about stories, we connected that gaming world with real life objects and products, wherein we started adopting few bit of handicraft artists and artisans. We give them training, we give them education, uplifted their livelihood, and then give them an opportunity to sell their product through our game, which is happening in Southeast Asia till date. For the last 25 years, we have been changing life, and by the grace of God, probably the universe is also blessing us with all those good connection and great people. And when I'm talking about basically changing life, I would love to share you the screen first with my LinkedIn post, and then eventually probably with few bit of work. Yeah, I will keep my video mute so that it doesn't disturb others. Hope my screen is visible and you can see one video which is there, which I posted a day back. This is a post basically about a woman. I hope my screen is visible to all of you, right? Like, yeah, it's showing here. Cool.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So the first three letters are basically called Nokshi Kathar Katha, which means Nokshi Katha is basically an art form hidden in Bengal, which is an artifact on the top of any kind of cloth. Yeah. Nokshi Katha means when you draw. Nokshi means Noksha, which is basically a handicraft drawing. Yeah. And then Katha means that particular cloth, and Katha means the story. So the first three word is the story of the people who are creating those kind of amazing stuff, which is on the top of cloth. Now, these women, if you can see the video, I'm talking with a woman. She's nominated as a Padma Shri now. What she has done, I did a small catalyst stuff in this particular business. She adopted more than 600 artisans nearby villages. When she started with only 2 rupees in her pocket. Eventually came to people like us and then got a little bit of help, little bit of money, little bit of connections. With that small connection, she grew from one person to that 600 number, changed the entire village, started adopting as much as possible. And then when they create such kind of artifacts, those artifacts are really fascinating. Yeah, I'll show you a couple of those artifacts and you'll understand why storytelling is important. And when I'm talking about these kind of posts, you can see that probably more than 600 plus likes, couple of 90 plus comments, a lot of people are sharing. The reason this is happening, if I tell the people that, you know what, there is a sari which is there, which is for women, you can probably wear it, nobody is interested. But the way I started talking about it is the background of the entire artifact and what is the impact that is happening now. Yeah. And if I scroll down a little bit, give me a moment. Sorry about that. I'll not show you any kind of business post. Rather, I'll show you how yeah. You may see this another post, which is from another lady. She is a second generation entrepreneur. She is taking care of her mother's business, and she is actually talking about this entire cloth where the story of Ramayana is totally described as a storyline. Why they are doing this? When they sell these kind of artifacts, people don't buy one particular sari. Rather, they buy the entire concept. They buy basically the structure where we can actually talk about little bit of our structural diagram of our culture, the hidden gems, and people start buying these stuffs because these guys don't understand digital marketing. They are not at all from technology world. They are mainly from a very traditional village people who don't have proper education, formal certifications, don't understand anything related and relevant to computers, even not even the smartphone. But when you encourage these people to adopt their second generation as their co-owner, second generation use the smartphone. Yeah. So when we started giving training to these second generation entrepreneurs, how they can utilize YouTube, social media, Facebook, Instagram, they started making it viable and visible to lot many other people. Now, what we have done, we didn't stop over there. We rather started doing this. I'll show you. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm always prepared, but this time a little bit of is my mistake. I should have checked. Please tell me if you can see a very beautiful lady on the screen. Yeah, okay. Now this is their sari looks like, yeah. But if we put a sari just like a sari, probably people attention we cannot gather. So what we started doing, I have another business which is called Glam World Face. So we actually take actor, actress, models, celebrities. I can go on with name of celebrities. I don't want to do that. This is not my storyline, rather their storyline. Yeah. So we started taking these people as their model. And sometimes we use AI to create such kind of characters so that we can use those same sari with a very less amount of cost. And it can go and grow as a storyline itself. Now, how will you connect all these kind of stuff? These guys don't have a lot of money for packaging. These guys don't have a lot of money for brand building. So coming from these kind of background, when we talk about stories, when we talk about basically selling stuffs, it is not about only the digital marketing. Rather, what we did so far so good with the grace of God, with the grace of Almighty, we started connecting exporters. We started connecting all those importers, all those buyers. So personally, I traveled more than 40 plus countries in my life and pretty well connected with the business world. So I requested all these people who buy clothes, who buy tea, who buy coffee, rice, very traditional stuff, maybe puffed rice. I asked them that, why don't you guys buy it from these people directly from the source? You don't need to go through any kind of middleman. Rather, help the country to grow. These grassrooted people need more support rather than probably a middleman who is already making money. So I can give you access to these kind of villages. Now the direct buying started. But when the direct buying started, they had an issue of quality. So when we talk about storytelling, we need to understand that when you create a brand, your backend product needs a very solid understanding of your product and authenticity of the product. So we went for certifications, we started training them, we put them in incubation centers. In fact, a couple of them are right now incubated in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park. I'm a mentor there, of course, for since the beginning. Put few of them into IITs so that these guys can get input from professors as well. So you see, when you talk about creating a very solid kind of brand, very solid kind of structure, you need to connect that with education, with buyers, with market, and this should go as a complete storytelling method. Now, when we watch TV, I saw that there is a lady from Africa. I didn't get the country name. It's a huge continent, more than 54 plus countries. But when we look at our country, we celebrate actor and actress as celebrities, right? All of us will agree on that. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry about this language because we deal with all of them. They are entertainers. But if we look at us, if we look at you, if you look at probably a startup, these guys are actually making impact. So these guys should be celebrities, but unfortunately, we don't have that culture. So what we need to do, we need to create a TV program so that in that TV program, people can come, they can pitch, they can raise capital or they don't raise capital, whatever happens, the peer activity is happening. And that's the sole reason you have seen a lot of TV programs are happening. Even in Bengal, we did one program called Egiye Bangla a couple of years back. I was the initiator in that particular program. We did that on a purpose. What was the purpose? Purpose was to create local hero. Until unless you create local hero, you cannot tell stories. You cannot create an impact. You cannot ask others, come, entrepreneurship is good. Because people don't give any kind of focus to these people. If you start a business, if you start probably a startup, if you are a bootstrapped guy, people usually feel two different kind of mindset in India. I'm so sorry. I mean, even today is an Independence Day, but in 77th Independence Day till date in Bengal, we don't cherish entrepreneurship as entrepreneurship. Yeah, I'm from the eastern part of India, so I can always vouch for it. But unfortunately, we lost a lot of things. But if I look at probably the southern part of India, mid part of India, western part of India, there from family, we say that, hey, you should do your own business. You should come to the family business. But here in Bengal, the traditional saying used to be earlier, you should do a job, you should go for engineering, you should go for doctor, or you should become a lawyer. Entrepreneurship was not cherished because we started telling stories, because we started creating role models, because media was involved, because universities became very active in this particular part. These people got focus, and that's needed in India. We Indians are jugarus, man. We don't need anything. You just give us a platform to do something good, we will rock the world. We don't need anything. Yeah? Agree? Yes or no? We don't need anything. Yeah? You just give us a little bit of platform, a little bit of handshaking. We are probably, we always say Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We always say that Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Yotirgamaya. But seriously speaking, these Jugaru guys are rocking now the entire planet. And what we need to tell all these stories a lot more. I am kudos to the organizers that they bring these kind of topic in such a beautiful day. And we should talk a lot more about those people who are probably making monthly turnover of a lakh of rupees, which is fine. Entrepreneurship is not about how much money you're making. It is the passion. It is the love. It is the sleepless nights. It is when your table becomes your bed. It is when your chair becomes basically the part where you are running. Your brain is running faster than your thought. And that's what entrepreneurship is. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for the invitation, and kudos to the organizer and all the relevant people as well as the co-panelists. Thank you so much.
That was a great speech, Mr. Bhattacharya. I really appreciate it. I have a small question for you, or you could address it a supplementary question for everyone. Since we have all budding young entrepreneurs here who wish to be entrepreneurs in future, wish to begin their own startup, I would like to request you to share 3 important advices as an entrepreneur yourself.
Well, if you ask me that what are the key things that is needed to become an entrepreneur, I would love to first define what is entrepreneurship, what is business. Entrepreneurship starts with passion to do an impact to the world. It never starts with a passion only to make money. On the same side, business starts with the intention of making profit. So if you are an entrepreneur, first thing that you need to understand, do you love what you're doing? If your business, what you want to start, is your love, no one is going to put you down. You're going to rock. Second, do you have a customer? Let's come to the real world. Yeah. Do you have the customer? At least 5. Customer means who is paying you, not the user. Free users you will get. Yeah. Do you have the customer for your business? If it is an idea stage, do you have a market? If you have a market, can you cater that market at least 5%? Let's not create a PPT with, I'm going to rock off 80% of the market. That's not going to happen. Can you do at least a small part of it? If you can do small part of that, go for it. Third most important part, build organization. Don't become a solopreneur. When you create an organization, you need to have a team. In my blog, if you search in my website, arijitbhattacharya.com, you'll find out I have written what is the key 5 people you need in your organization. I'll repeat that for the organizer because CEOs are requested me. Yeah. So first thing that you need is basically a swan, a person who can extract knowledge from information. Okay. Hunks jo hota hai, right? The characteristics is that it can extract knowledge from information. So you need a person who can actually wipe off all those kind of jargons, get the knowledge for you. Number 1, yeah, which means you may need a data analyst in today's world. Easy words. Second, get a great CEO. The full form of CEO in my dictionary, cash extraction officer, not chief executing officer. The person who can actually extract cash and then manage it well for the organization. So the CEO's role is basically creating the team as well as maintaining balance as well as managing the entire cash, not at all maintaining the cash. That's CFO's role. Yeah. Third kind of person, you need an elephant. That guy may be a old guy, maybe a little bit of slow, but remembers everything. Not on the computer, not on a notepad, not on your iPad, rather here. Why you need that? Because that guy is going to give you inputs which is unthinkable and unbelievable, which means you need a knowledgeable person, experienced person. Take these guys probably as an advisor, yeah, if you are a startup. The fourth kind of person that you need a person who is acting as a snake in the organization. Now you may say that snakes are bad. Come on, sir, what are you saying? No, snakes are dynamic. They remove their own skin, become new and move. When they move, you cannot predict where they are going because it's always like this. Okay, you can't predict them. They have venom in their head, but that venom don't kill them. It is used to kill others. You need that kind of person who can protect your organization and show the world that we are moving, but which direction? It's unpredictable. The reason, you will get a lot of competition in your life. So if you show yourself what is your next step, your competition or competitor may take a different kind of step. Okay, that guy can be your HR, that guy can be your CTO, I don't care, but have that. The fifth point, very important role, get someone who is smarter than you in the business. Okay, so that you can learn from him or her, hire them or get them on board as a team member. That's not the main point. So when you are starting, it is easy to say, take these 5 elements in the business. It's very hard to find. It is like finding a best groom or a bride for your own life. Yeah, that's business. So when you start it, if you get a partner with maybe 2% of these kind of quality, it's very easy. And believe me or not, I run more than 20 plus business in my life. But whenever I start any kind of new business, I don't start just like that. I always look for people. That person should have a gel together with me as well as we both. We both should feel that we can take things forward. I don't care about age. I don't care about the skin color. I don't care about religion. I don't care, to be very honest. I'm pretty bit of open on that. Yeah. But the comfort zone comes from both the side. If that is happening, we start a business together. And believe me or not, it's been around 25 plus years. I run an accelerator. I run a angel syndicate. We invest in startups. We accelerate companies. Then we have a global platform. We have several different kind of business. Till that, I never had any kind of fight with none of the partners. And partnership, sometimes some people say that you shouldn't be partner with your friends. Well, I have a childhood friend with me. He is my partner till date. For last 25 years, we are partners. But till date, we don't have any kind of separation. Yeah, if you are in a family, there must be some kind of fighting with each other. That's the beauty of it. You can't say, yes, boss kind of partner. You can't have that. That's not your partner. Yeah. So when you're starting up, if you have these kind of things in your company, just as a experienced entrepreneur, I can tell you that this is going to sustain. One last point, sir, with all of your permission. Business is not about raising fund and show that the 10x valuation. Entrepreneurship is all about creating some kind of meaningful business to make an impact of 10x. It can be with your employees, it can be with your team, it can be to the world, it can be as a social impact business, it can be a tech business. That doesn't matter. If you're not raising funds, but if you're doing good, believe me or not, it's perfect. I have seen at least 0.5% of the world. I met with people who are filthy rich, who have got private jets, but these guys are alone. Yeah. So there are certain things that you need to understand where you want to be. If you want to be happy, happiness doesn't count with number of money in your bank. So be happy and do happy business. Hope that helps.
No, that was really remarkable advice, Mr. Bhattacharya. I would like to thank you for your fantastic and knowledgeable speech. You have shared a lot of insights for us today. Do kindly share your email address in the chat box too, so that if anyone in our audience has any questions or needs further information, they can directly connect.
No problem. I am totally okay.
Now I would like to invite Advocate Amit Randev to commence his speech and share his insights.
Just confirming, am I audible? Thank you for the confirmation. A very good evening to one and all present, and a very good morning and good afternoon to all my co-panelists and participants from the different part of the world. Foremost, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Advocate Amit Randev, an international trade lawyer by profession, based out in New Delhi. I am leading a gamut of trade remedy investigations on behalf of Indian exporters and representing their probe and their defense before the international trade authorities, largely before the US Department of Commerce and the European Commission. Also, being an academician lawyer, I'm on the verge of completing my doctorate in international trade and investment law. Foremost, let me take a moment to wish everyone a happy Independence Day, and let us cherish our right to freedom and to live with dignity and honor today. I would like to extend my gratitude to our organizers, SK Associates and Group, for providing me an opportunity to be a part of this esteemed panel and discharge my views in this interesting session. So quickly moving to today's topic for discussion, that is unleashing the power of narrative and how storytelling transform global customer engagement and drive business outcomes. Honestly, being an academician lawyer, it's like an uphill task for me to get the legal technical developments in perspective and to able to contribute from the storytelling and from the entrepreneurship perspective, because technically speaking, being as a lawyer enrolled with the Indian regulatory authority, we are prohibited to solicit and advertise any kind of our services. So it is something which is antithesis to my profession, but to get the academics and my research oriented profile in perspective, and I hope I will be able to contribute a small portion to this session. So to start with, I put today's in order to put today's topic in international trade and business context, I will take few minutes to explain the concept of WTO trade remedial measures and its utility in the business paradigm. With this, I will highlight that how a recent trend in government and technical agencies practices has led to shift in the approach of trade associations, promotion bodies, and industry players at large to resort to different set of trade redressal mechanism once the conversion rate is lower and the process is cumbersome of the former over the later. So to start with, WTO trade remedies or WTO trade remedial measures are exceptions to WTO principles of free trade and market access. When I say measures, so measures can be imposition of a duty or certain legal and technical conditions to address the unfair trade distortive practices. Majorly, these measures in the broader aspect can be of three types. That is the anti-dumping measures, countervailing measures, and the safeguard measures. Just for the larger audience and to keep this simple for everyone to get some idea, anti-dumping is a price discrimination arrangement when an importing country is importing into the other country at a price which is less than or the selling price of that product in its own country. So that particular situation may amount to dumping. But dumping per se is not illegal. It should be combined with other technical parameters to get it probed and to get it recommended that that particular existing state of affair warrants an imposition of a measure and to be addressed by the technical authorities. So the imposition of such measures must be preceded by a detailed investigation by a nodal agency of that particular country. The main objective out here, it is important to understand that the main objective of such measure is to provide a level playing field, not to provide additional protection to one domestic industry and to curb the impact of unfair trade distortive practices. So, in consonance with the WTO law, each member country has formulated its own domestic laws on trade remedial measures. In India, the legislative and procedural framework are enshrined in Custom Tariff Act 1975 and the guiding rules, which are the anti-dumping rules 1995, countervailing rules 1995, the safeguard measures rules 1997. Trade remedial investigation in India are conducted by Directorate General of Trade Remedies. It's a quasi-judicial body under the Department of Commerce, regulated by Ministry of Commerce and Industry. This DGTR, that is the nodal agency, can initiate an investigation on its own accord, that taking through a suo motu cognizance on the existing state of affair, and by itself, or on receipt of a duly substantiated application by the industry which is being impacted from such unfair distortive practices, highlighting that how it is causing injurious effect to their business operations. So once an investigation is initiated and concluded, taking all the economic and technical parameters in hand, and there is affirmative finding by DGTR, the final decision to impose that particular measure rests with the Department of Revenue. If I strictly talk about the Indian jurisdiction, the final decision to impose the trade remedial measure rests with the Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. Interestingly, since the inception of WTO in the 1994, there were only handful of trade remedy investigations, wherein regardless of positive recommendation by the DGTR or like by the Department of Commerce, Ministry of Finance has not imposed the trade remedial measures. However, since October 2019, there is a sudden increase of such instances that has grabbed the attention of the stakeholders. So it is something which has created a narrative across the board for the people who are not well versed with the technical legal aspect of these measures, and people starting relying on the grapevine or precisely the narrative created by the few of the stakeholders for their own vested interest. So it is just in order to get this into numbers for the easy understanding of the larger audience, it is noteworthy to highlight that, and this data is from the official website of the Department of Commerce and Industry, and from the CBIC, that which is Department of Revenue and Ministry of Finance website. So in the year 2022, as many as 23 such cases wherein there was a positive recommendation from the DGTR, which is the nodal agency for imposition of these measures, but no imposition is eventually made by the Ministry of Finance. To get this into more interesting figures, this 23 cases are something close to 70% of, it is 70% of total decisions in trade remedial measures in that year. So this was like created a hue and cry across the main daily published main media that see now nothing now the nodal agency Indian authority which is there to take care of this WTO trade driven measures, nothing more than a paper tiger. So because the prerogative or the final decision to take the final action to curb the situation is left with the Ministry of Finance. So what is the role of the Director General of Trade Remedies? This emerging trade in practice, though technically and legally permitted, raised several questions of violation of natural justice and fairness against the media because though they were taking a positive action of not recommending this trade remedial measures, but they are not highlighting a cogent reason, which is a basic principle of natural justice to the society and to the public at large, and for that matter, even to the interested party who have deliberated cooperative with the technical bodies for as long as for a year or so. Out here, let me come up with a caveat that this action of Department of Revenue or Ministry of Finance for not imposing the trade remedial measures has been challenged by the aggrieved party. Challenged by the aggrieved party in several Indian high courts and presently subjudiced before the Supreme Court. The point here is, and which is more important than the legal technicality attached to it, which is more critical, is that how a negative narrative can be antithesis or can lower down the morale of the stakeholders. On one hand, during the last 3 years, it has been noted that since the recent approach is appreciated by one state of the industry, considering that the Ministry of Finance action of not imposing the trade remedial measures mechanically just because on the positive recommendation is a very welcoming step. Supposedly, they are analyzing the public interest and weighing the balance of convenience between the Indian manufacturers and the Indian importers, which are the user industry. So this is a one way how the stakeholders at large has perceive this particular decision or the trend in the practices. While on the other hand, the applicants who were approaching the nodal agency to get rid of this unfair trade distortive practice has lost faith in that very agency, stating that because it was very difficult for them that regardless of making a good case that warrants an imposition of that particular measures consistent with the past practices of the department and the government to sustain in the market and remain price competitive. So and they were so just creating this narrative through a mainstream media or to the people who are not very well versed with the subject matter and the technicalities, and stating that a nodal agency sitting at the right to take care and address such existing state of affairs have no final prerogative and is now, allow me to say it, good for nothing. So what people did to now they have resorted, it has been noted through the practices and the action taken by the large body of association, export promotion groups, like industry associations, then now they are shifting their approach from trade remedial measures to other administrative to other trade mechanism tools. For example, requesting for an imposition of non-tariff measures. So non-tariff measures can be such as putting additional restriction on the imports, so that, for example, if a particular product A is being imported in India from a XYZ country, so they are imposing some additional checks to be made, something like a lab test or the quality test to be made, or request for inclusion of that imported good into the restricted list as per the foreign trade schedules. So this has been perceived that there is a dilution of deterrence or seriousness of trade remedy investigation in India. As a byproduct, it is also noted that all the foreign parties that were supposedly to be cooperative in the trade remedial investigation in India has stop taking Indian nodal agency, that is the DGTR, as serious. So now they are not participating in the trade remedial measures before the Indian authorities, stating that, see, being non-cooperative behavior, they at the end, the fact remains that there will be no imposition. So what is the point of investing your time, money, and resources in participating in investigation which will eventually has no outcome? So it has something which is belted Indian diplomatic and judicial forum before the foreign sphere as well. Therefore, to cut the long story short, the major point that the speaker is trying to make from the last few minutes is, and with the present case study, is that any government action, though legally possible, if not put well with clear objective and purpose, can shake the entire
Sorry to
establishment.
interrupt, Mr. Amit. If you could just wrap up in the next 5 minutes because we're running short of time.
I'll take another 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. So if what I'm trying to establish, that any government or institution action, though legally possible, though very much legally possible, if not put well with clear objective and purpose, can shake the entire established ecosystem and has the capacity to cause more harm than desired benefits. Amid this, the counter narrative to this approach is that, and which is actually coming from a detailed and structured analysis, is coming from a strata of the academicians and the policy and the research lobby when it comes to the international trade. What they have analyzed based on their analytical and the qualitative and quantitative research, that this trend of Ministry of Finance of not imposing the trade remedial measures on the positive recommendation of DGTR is also the outcome of being more proactive and making detailed objective examination that whether that particular trade remedial measures is warranted or not, or whether it can be dealt with some other action or not. So just a few key
wrap up it and wrap it up in
yes. So just a few key points which is of utmost importance out here is just any storytelling or any narrative or premise creation should be firstly be the impact should be positive rather than negative. Secondly, should be based on structured analysis and detailed research. Third, should be based on verified sources. Should be unbiased, and it is important for the people at large to read between the numbers, because numbers can be decisive, you know that. So with this, I rest my today's speech. I hope I'll be able to contribute something to the audience. Thank you for the opportunity and good evening.
Mr. Rangan, we would like to request you to kindly share your email ID in the chat box so that if any of our attendees have any questions, they can straight away reach out.
Will be my pleasure. Thank you.
So we have come to the end of tonight's conference. We would like to extend a heartfelt gratitude to all our esteemed panelists for today, who graciously participated in the first session of Conference 2.4 and shared their invaluable insights. Your expertise and contributions have truly enriched this session. We would also like to express our appreciation to all the attendees for your active participation and attentive listening throughout the conference. We do know that one point our hours of session can be stretched for too long, but yeah, your enthusiasm, engagement, and excitement have made this event truly special. Now, as we conclude the first session, we invite all the attendees to participate in the voting process. Please do take a moment to type the name of your favorite speaker for today in the chat box. The top 3 speakers with the most votes will be recognized and announced at the end of Conference 2.4 and shall be awarded accordingly. And as an additional disclaimer, this voting is not a part of a regular discriminative process or to discriminate anyone. It is being held with the intention to increase engagement in the sessions. We do look forward to continuing this conference tomorrow with the second session, where we will dwell into the topic of unleashing the power of narrative or storytelling transforms customer engagement and drives business outcomes. We encourage you all to stay tuned and keep dreaming of a bright and innovative future. Thank you once again for your presence and active involvement. now, if you could have the votes app in the chat box, please. 34 participants. I guess I can at least expect 30 votes out here. Faster. And yeah, the polls will also go out in the WhatsApp groups for all 3 conferences where you all attendees are located. So you can also participate in them. Anjali, if you would do the pleasure of dropping the polls, please. Sure. So yeah, have a great day, everyone. Take care, and let's meet tomorrow again for the second session of Conference 2.4 on storytelling. Till then, have a great day, take care, and keep dreaming. Good night.